HaGadol. It really is. It's a step up from maybe your Kroger version. The language is a little bit more modern, but it's really lovely. And it has some fabulous colors and whatever. This is my favorite. Pink, of course. These are the 4 questions. And there is a mirror ball, and if any of you are so moved, listen to her song Mirror Ball. It is absolutely beautiful. But I have a 5th question. Why is this night different to all other nights? On this night, I wear pink. Thank you, Goodwill. And all other nights, as my husband will tell you, I wear black. So this will be moving out shortly to Lost and Found youth. But for today, I am celebrating and channeling some inner swiftiness. So there are a lot of, there are connections to Passover, of, obvious ones. There are some strange ones like the 4 sons. Is that what they call the 4 sons? And the writer kind of connects one of her albums and the 4 characters that she creates, to the past. It's there. A lot of this is a stretch, but there are some lovely. There's some very nice connections to Taylor Swift. There are divrei Torah throughout the book. There are trivia questions. There's some interesting facts about her. That's it. And please, if you so choose, come and look at my upside down HaGadol at any. I'd love you to take a look at it because it's fun. I mean, it's just fun. So, with that said, let's welcome Shabbat HaGadol with a side of Swift by lighting the Shabbat candles. And Paul and Tom, if you would join us, we would be very honored.
Amazing.
Yay.
Is there anything that you are wanting to bring in to Shabbat as you light the candles? The usual. Peace, rest. Okay. Candles of peace and rest. I'll invite everyone to take a look at these candles. Just notice the light. If this is the only time you've been able to stop all week, let it be a beautiful moment to just look at these beautiful candles, the flickering, breathe. And when you're ready, we'll bring in some of the energy of the fire 3 times, covering our eyes, and together we'll sing Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Ruach HaOlam Asher Kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Yasher koach. Yeah, thank you. We'll continue to bring in the energy of Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem on page 13 in your Sidurim. I just want to remind you that these beautiful 4 stanzas are about welcoming, greeting first, really. Hello. Meeting the angels where they are, meeting ourselves where we are, welcoming them in, So what do you need to kind of shift a little bit so that you allow a little bit more of that Shabbat energy? And then a blessing. What kind of blessing do you need for Shabbat? And once that's happened, a gratitude, and with gratitude, off you go. Thank you. So, hello, welcome, blessings. Go in peace. Go in shalom. And we'll sing together. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech, malachei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech, malachei amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech, malachei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
So we have just welcomed in the angels, and I want you to look at all these angels seated here today. And I'd love you to go and greet one of your angel neighbors and welcome in this great Shabbat.
And also online, go ahead and say hi to each other online. So good that you're here. And let's come on back. Tell your friends you'll see them at the Oneg or in a chat room near you.
Apparently no one's listening.
And we're going to be continuing on page 27 of our Sidurs, of our prayer books. You know, it's not a small thing that we get to be in a room together or online singing. There's nothing that says you have to have a good voice to sing. Laughter. Go ahead. But that's like messages from long before. Singing is our birthright. It's the way we make ritual. It's the way we connect. It's the way we grieve. It's the way we celebrate. So I invite all of your voices, exactly as they are, to sing. We need each other's voices to welcome in the Shabbat. So we're going to start on page 27 which is Psalm 96. And what better way to sing than to welcome Shabbat with skies rejoicing. This is dramatic language, people. We are not messing around. Skies are rejoicing. The earth is resounding. Sound and ocean are everywhere. Everything is happy. The whole world is rising up to meet us. Let's sing together. First line of transliteration, first line of Hebrew, 27. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, humelo. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, humelo. Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Continuing on page 31, or Zarua. Now, to quote Taylor Swift, who I learned more about in the last couple weeks than I ever thought I would. Maybe ever will again. 1989, her album, one of her songs and the lyrics are we out of the woods yet? Are we in the clear yet? Which I think is really appropriate because we are about to celebrate, acknowledge, honor Passover and this liberation where, in fact, we are going to be wandering as a people for 40 years. So no, we're not even close to out of the woods. We are close to being out of the woods of enslavement, right into another period of wandering, which is often what happens. We get out of something and then we don't know where we are. But that's a place, wandering. So we need some lights, we need some guides to show us the way sometimes. Sometimes we're those lights for other people. Or Zarua is all about lights shining in the just ones, and that happiness and joy come from that. So let's sing that together. Remember, you are always a light to other people, and sometimes they are a light to you. Bum biddy bum 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 bum biddy bum. Oh, Simcha Bum diddy bum 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 bum diddy bum. We're at the door of Shabbat, HaGadol, where we welcome holy, the Shabbat. Up till now, it's about us, warming ourselves, coming closer. Now, we're ready to say hello. And so we invite Hannah to lead us in HaGadol. That you can find first. So that's 41, and then skip all the way over to page 47. Welcome, Hannah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Vivi, can you? Yeah, perfect.
So, Lecha dodi dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Shamor vezachor b'dibor echad, Hishmianu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi dodi, lecha dodi ligrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom v'teret bala, gam besimcha u'betzola, toch emenuei am segula, boi chala, boi chala. Lecha dodi dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. And now I'll pass it on over to Rebecca.
We're trying a little experiment tonight. How did that feel? Not too shabby. We figured it out. Thanks, Vivi. Vivi's one of our new folks helping.
Yay!
Yes, thank you, Vivi, for helping to make that happen. So, folks, let's breathe a little bit more. What else are you still holding right now? Some anger. Ooh, who else is holding a little anger right now? Yeah, no, I've got a little anger in there. Yeah, so whatever you find, maybe your body just has something it's holding on to, see if you can just let it go a little. One of the ways to combat anger, Vivi, can you turn me down a little bit? Thank you. One of the ways to combat anger, I find, is to turn my attention to gratitude. So let's take a moment and just check in a little bit, what you are really, truly grateful for. And I'm actually going to have you hold it inside right now. Come up with all the things, little and small. Let them just roll through your brain, in your body. And we'll sing together Tov Lehodot, which is Psalm 92, Psalm for Shabbat on page 49. Holding the energy of all that you are grateful for, and maybe just noticing how being grateful does something to our systems a little bit, changes us. Page 49. Second line of transliteration, second line of Hebrew. Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulzamer l'shimcha elyon, lagid baboker chasdecha, ve'emunatecha balelot. Hay ay la la la, ay la la la, ay la ay la, ay la la la, ay la 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 la, ay la la la, ay la ay la, ay la la, ay la la la, ay la la la, ay la ay la, ay la la la, ay la la la, ay la la la, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulzamer l'shimcha elyon, lagid baboker chasdecha, ve'emunatecha elod. And let's hum. I'm grateful for the way that music transforms my body just by making sound. Join page 55, the Chatzi Kaddish. I'll invite you to rise, your body or spirit. And we'll face the Torahs. Yitkada veyitkada shemei Rabbah be'amad divrach chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala ba'agala uv'izman karib ve'imeru Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ulal me'almaya yitbarach yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitramam ve'yitnaseh ve'yithadar ve'yitalev ve'yitalal Shmei dekudesha le'ela min kol birchata ve'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata tamiran be'alma ve'imeru amen. Ya la la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya ya la la 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 ya la ya la 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 Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Baruch Adonai Hamevorach leolam va'ed. Hey, hey, yadai, 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 and you can have a seat.
We would love to call up Abby Drew to read a favorite of her poems, but a favorite of Hannah's. And this is the one that Hannah suggested. It's The Ponds by Mary Oliver. And of course, she brought her own book.
Yeah, this is for Hannah and you.
Yes, well, thank you.
Can I sit here?
Sure. Or this is your...
sit there, please.
I'm
Yes.
short.
Sit down.
Okay.
This is Mary Oliver's warms my heart in so many ways. And this particular one, you really nailed it, old girl. Hannah. The ponds. Every year the lilies are so perfect, I can hardly believe their lapped light crowding the black midsummer ponds. Nobody could count all of them. The muskrats swimming among the pads, and the grasses can reach out their muscular arms and touch only so many. They are that rife and wild. But what in this world is perfect? I bend closer and see how this one is clearly lopsided, and that one, well, wears an orange blight, and this one is a glossy cheek half nibbled away, and that one is a slumped purse, full of its own unstoppable decay. Still, what I want in my life is to be willing to be dazzled, to cast aside the weight of facts, and maybe even to float a little above this difficult world. I want to believe I am looking into the white fire of a great mystery. I want to believe that the imperfections are nothing, that the light is everything, that it is more than the sum of each flawed blossom rising and fading. And I do.
Thank you. Woo!
So we'll acknowledge that with a blessing. Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai tzavaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamidim l'chaleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai, Hamariv Haravim. And we're going to turn our attention to Hannah again, who
Thanks, Rebecca, and thank you, Abby. That was so, so beautiful. One of my favorite albums of Taylor's is Folklore, one of her more folksy albums released in the late summer of the pandemic in 2020. It uses a woodsy backdrop and the isolation of quarantine to explore themes of nostalgia, romanticism, and escapism, mostly through different fictional characters. One of my favorite songs off the album is called Invisible String. The idea of an invisible string is actually an East Asian folk myth about a red thread of fate that ties two soulmates together. This felt so appropriate for our community given our Red Thread album, in addition to the themes of abundant love which match the spirit of Ahavat Olam. I hope you all enjoy this whimsical tune as much as I do as I perform part of the song as our interpretive Ahavat Olam. And much as I love this boa, I think it's gonna have to go for this. Green was the color of the grass where I used to read at Centennial Park. I used to think I would meet somebody there. Teal was the color of your shirt when you were 16 at the yogurt shop. You used to work out to make a little money. Time, curious time, gave me no compasses, gave me no signs. Were there clues I didn't see? Isn't it just so pretty to think all along there was some invisible string tying you to me? Ooh. That was the blood of the song in the cab on your first trip to LA. You ate at my favorite spot for dinner. Bold was the waitress on a 3-year trip getting lunch down by the lakes. She said I looked like an American singer. Time, mystical time, cutting me open and healing me fine. Were there clues I didn't see? Isn't it just so pretty to think all along there was some invisible string tying you to me? Ooh. Gold was the steel of my axe to grind for the boys who broke my heart. Now I send their babies presents. Gold was the color of the leaves when I showed you around Centennial Park. Hell was the journey, but it brought me heaven. Time, wondrous time, gave me the blues and them purple pink skies. And it's cool, baby, with me. Isn't it just so pretty to think all along there was some invisible string tying you to me? Ooh, me.
I was thinking about all the strings, the virtual string that ties you to us right now, and all the people who are online, the string between your parents and you, the string between you and this community, the strings between all of us in this room, and the mystery, which is what Ahavat Olam is about. So thank you for bringing that to us in such a heartfelt, beautiful way. I'm going to bless it. Again, you can join me on 63. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. And normally we might go right into the Shema, but I'm going to introduce a little because Hannah is also bringing us a melody from her community in Chicago tonight. So we're going to sing the Shema together in here, and then Hannah is going to sing Ve'ahavta, and it's a repeating melody. So let's see if we can catch on in the room and online with this Ve'ahavta. It's just the first line of the Ve'ahavta. So please join me in the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך.
Love with all your heart, with every breath and all you have. Take these words now to your heart. Teach them intently to your children. Speak them when you sit inside your house or walk upon the road, when you lie down and when you rise, and bind them as a sign upon your hand, and keep them visible before your eyes. Inscribe them on your doorposts of your home and on your gates. Please turn to page 68. No 69, no 70. It just keeps going. Place these words upon your heart into your life breath. You can join me in these words. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, and let them rest before your eyes. Teach them to your children, speaking of them when you sit at home, and when you walk upon the road, and when you lie down, and when you rise. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your guests, so that your days and your phone's days may be full upon the land. The faithful one promised to give your ancestors as long as heaven rests upon the earth. You can join me on page 73. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. Ani Adonai Elohechem. And we say together, Adonai Elohechem Emet. Adonai Elohechem Emet. So we heard Terry talk about the HaGadol, Taylor Swift's HaGadol, earlier today, and you're living into the tradition of this Shabbat, which is to actually sing and to share about Passover. Often this is a very long Shabbat, Gadol, the big one, for lots of reasons we know. Most importantly, Taylor Swift, we know. And the other thing that so it's also the Shabbat right before Passover, and so. What I want to do is draw our attention to this prayer, Micha Mocha, that we sing every night, and in fact we sing every day, which we are going to lift up on Passover. This is the song of the sea, right after liberation, and we remind ourselves of this all the time, so that it becomes real for us. This is a miraculous thing that happened. We need to remind ourselves of miracles sometimes in this world. So this prayer is about to happen in a couple more days. We'll sing it with a little bit of extra zhuzh and a little extra woo, like the woo, can you believe liberation just happened? And we also understand the complexity of a song like this, that liberation sometimes comes at the cost of others. May it not. May we all rise in liberation together. Page 79. Micha mocha Neder v'kodesh, Nora, Tehilot, Osei, Feleh, Malchutecha, Ra'u vanecha, Bokeh hayam, Lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Zeli, Anu ve'ameru, Adonai Imloch, Le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. You remind me that Miriam didn't do it alone, you know? She brought all of her people to walk through, to guide everyone. So we need all of our voices. Thanks for asking for help. Amazing.
And thank you for helping.
Yeah, here we are. It's a good thing to learn, to practice. So we would like to call up Paul Glickstein. And we're going to bring into the room in prayer for the hostages, our hostages who continue to be away from family, away from what they know, in really difficult times and spaces. You have it with you. You're welcome to read along with us if you have one of the sheets.
This is the prayer for the kidnapped and the missing. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless and protect and guard those who were abducted and taken hostage from their homes, their villages, and their kibbutzim, from military posts and from fields of dance, and who are now in grave danger. We and all the people of Israel are praying on their behalf. May the Holy Blessed One have compassion upon them and bring them out from the darkness and from the shadow of death. Break their bonds and deliver them from distress, and redeem them speedily, returning them to their families, their towns, and their homes, and to fields of dance and joy. May there be fulfilled in them the verse, "Those redeemed by God will return. They will enter Zion with singing, and everlasting joy will crown their heads. Gladness and joy will overtake them, and sorrow and sighing will flee away. And let us say, Amen."
Amen. Can you hear it? So may it be so. Yasher koach. Paul, thank you.
Thank you.
Page 81.
Thank you.
We said this prayer, we put this prayer in this spot so that we could also, this prayer that the Hashkivenu is about lying down, is about a sukkah, a canopy of peace that's spread on all of us. Sometimes we need help. We reach out to ask to lie down in peace, to wake up in peace, to help us when we're sleeping. So we ask for that now, for all who need it. Ufros aleinu sukat shalomecha. Ufros Shelomecha. Baruch atah Adonai, compassionate one, who spreads your canopy of peace over all your people Israel, over all the people of the world, over Jerusalem and all the people in the Middle East, and let us say, Amen.
We're now going to do a reading. It is one of Hannah's favorites, and we had two friends read it at her bat mitzvah many moons ago. But who could be better to read this poem than our dear friend and Hannah's dear friend, Faith Russler. So please, Faith, if you'll join us. Oh, page 772. How could I forget?
772.
Social action. We cannot merely pray to God to end war, for the world was made in such a way that we must find our own path of peace within ourselves and with our neighbor. We cannot merely pray to God to root out prejudice, for we already have eyes with which to see the good in all people if we would only use them rightly. We cannot merely pray to God to end starvation, for we already have the resources with which to feed the entire world if we would only use them wisely. We cannot merely pray to God to end despair, for we already have the power to clear away slums and to give hope if we would only use our power justly. We cannot merely pray to God to end disease, for we already have great minds with which to search out cures and healings if we would only use them constructively. Therefore, we pray instead for strength, determination, and willpower, to do instead of merely pray, to become instead of merely to wish, that our world be safe and that our lives may be blessed.
Amen. Can you hear it sound? May it be so.
Yes, indeed.
So I'll invite you to stand. Join us in the prayer of observing Shabbat. Yeah. Page 85. I'm sorry, did I say
Sorry,
that already?
page 85.
Apologize.
And I think you know this one well. V'shamru
B'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת ודורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. I'd like you to stay standing. It's time for our own personal prayers of the heart. This is just for you. You can follow along page 91. Start or just honor the prayers of your heart, and when you are complete, please have a seat. Joining me on 91. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Open my lips, beloved one, and let my mouth declare your praise.
We are turning now to the Meshaberach, thinking of those who are in need of healing, and it should be in the back of your Sidorim
Or on a sheet.
or
Hand it
on a
out.
sheet if you have that sheet.
You can share with people who are next to you. We're going to read the names of people who are on our Mishaberach list, and then we'll come around and ask you for names. We'll put them into the room, and then we'll sing the blessing together.
Scott Epstein, Ali Sharman, Terry Egdal, Richard Adler, Roseanne Glick, Martin Glickstein, Patty Johnson, Victoria Isbister, John Isbister, Carl Pruitt, Bowen Harbach, Anna Levy Sprick, Jenny Michelson, Ruth Canfer, Nell Meyer, Dory Perling, Nancy Rosebloom, Rene Franco, Shelley Kotliar.
sheberach avotenu mekor habracha limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Oh, I lost my.
Please feel free to put your Sidurim away for a little while.
I wanted to say that. I've always wanted to say, put your siddurim to the side. And you don't have to do it, by the way. But we were always told to do it, especially when there were B'nai Mitzvah or whatever. So do whatever you'd like to do. Sorry, I had to add that.
Totally.
I do want you to do whatever it is to listen carefully to my beautiful daughter Hannah, but before that, I just want to give you a little insight on how you become a Swiftie. I never was one. And I kept saying to Hannah, just help me here. Help me, tell me what it is. I mean, I know that shake it off. That one I know. I think a lot of people know it. But I said, can you help me? I want to know and understand her and listen to her differently than apparently I've been listening up until this point. In true Hannah style, she gently and gracefully led me down the path. And there would be podcasts coming my way. There would be New York Times articles coming my way. And then she made a Spotify playlist called Taylor Swift for Mom. And I have listened to that over and over again. This year, on January the 1st, Hannah was in town. What better thing to do than go and see the movie, the Taylor Swift Eras Tour? I was in my element. It is fabulous. It's absolutely fabulous. I've watched it since then. Hannah was back in town recently. We watched it again. She donned that boa that's falling apart. We even drank wine, which I don't typically do, but it's an event, it is an experience. So I am not here to turn you into Swifties, not at all. However, if you want to just dip your feet into the pond, be careful, because no sooner will you have done that when you're up to your waist and head in water. To me, now that I have gone along that path, I have really learned to appreciate and understand the force of this human being. So all is not good necessarily in that world, but please turn your attention to Hannah, who is going to give you the Torah of Taylor Swift.
Thanks, Mom, for the kavanah to my devar. Love it.
It sounded like a little bit like a support group, I'm not gonna lie.
Could be.
Valid, very valid. Saturday, June 3rd, 2023 could have been like any other day. The sapphire sky hung overhead as I boarded the 146 bus with my friend Kate, south. At first, we were some of the only people on the bus, but the seats quickly filled up. It was easy to tell who was sharing our final destination. The blinking wristbands, lanyards, and sparkles were suggestive. The bus reached its final destination. Many passengers flung toward the planetarium or the field museum, but the rest of us headed toward a stadium, or for some of us, the barren hill surrounding the sea of lights pouring outside the arena. Thousands of people were already placed, finding home on this small slice of the city, doling out friendship bracelets, asking, "What's your favorite album? I have a bracelet for you," with this sacred glitter of generosity. The sun sank into the sky, people sang at the top of their lungs, cried, danced with each other against the steady moonbeams. As the day faded into the night, and I took in this image, like a photograph, I felt the impeding legacy of this moment, soon to slot its place in the past. 3 hours and 36 minutes later, many of us felt the electricity, the gravity, that this would be a defining cultural moment of our time. In case you haven't guessed, it was outside the Eras Tour. Taylor Swift's action-packed tour, alongside her discography and celebrity, have made her the Times Person of 2023 and arguably 5784 as well. It's fitting that we discuss her given that today is the release of her new album, The Tortured Poets Department. But first, let's go back in time a bit. Swift's music launched her onto a huge stage by the time she was about 18. I was 11, trying to find my way in the social foray of middle school. While I grew up often in the backseat of my parents' cars, listening to 92.9 Dave FM, may its memory be for a blessing, once I had some time to myself, I'd often plug in my headphones and press play to her music videos for The Best Day or Love Story, nestled in between the discography of the Beatles and Joni Mitchell. Since her debut album in 2006, Taylor Swift has become a cultural phenomenon, a best-selling artist, a prolific songwriter, and the subject of endless discourse around her personal life, entrepreneurship, and impact on the music industry. Her already lengthy career has caught comparisons to stars such as Bruce Springsteen and Carole King. Her music has been the backdrop of much of my growing up, and I have in fact watched the concert film 4 times. Yes, that amounts to approximately 14 hours of Swift. As someone fascinated by Taylor as a cultural and musical figure, I find her album overlap release with this special Shabbat HaGadol quite fitting. I'm inspired by her achievements and journey, and also feel conflicted as I reflect on her position in broader culture and the limitless, yet often controlled nature of that influence, especially in a system that is anything but free. As we have discussed earlier tonight, Shabbat HaGadol is an entrance into freedom. This Shabbat preceding Passover commemorates the day the children of Israel were given their first commandment, to take a lamb for each household. This miracle is part of the larger story of Passover. As we prepare for the holiday, many on Shabbat HaGadol actually read part of the Haggadah, which taps into Passover's themes of loss, grief, and hardship, and also the blossoms of springtime, the hope and anticipation of freedom. Above all else, Shabbat HaGadol and Passover are stories of redemption and renewal. And who better to embody these themes and their complexities than our good friend, Taylor? The music industry, like many others, is built by artists, but they don't necessarily hold the power. This became evident when Taylor entered into a highly public dispute with her former record label, Big Machine Records, in the summer of 2019. She signed on to that label in 2006, and 13 years later, the label's owner, Scott Borchetta, sold the company to its new owner, Scooter Braun, for $330 million. Braun then became the owner of all copyrighted masters, music videos, and artwork by Big Machine. This included Swift's first 6 albums. She was then blocked from performing her songs that year at the 2019 American Music Awards, as well as in her Netflix documentary. Meanwhile, the company released an unreleased work of hers without her permission. Braun then resold the masters in 2020 for an even larger amount, under the conditions that he would continue to profit from them. With that, what was an artist to do? Swift decided to recreate those past 6 albums and re-release them in what has famously been called the Taylor's versions. While artists such as Prince and the Beatles have talked about doing this, Taylor has really been one of the few to publicly set upon this mission. She has now re-recorded 4 out of 6 of those albums, each time releasing vault tracks or previously unreleased songs and promoting them essentially as new albums that she now fully owns and receives royalties on, rather than Borchetta or Braun. This process has opened up conversations about power dynamics, corporate greed, and gender bias and equity within this industry. Taylor has freed herself, entrepreneurially, economically, and artistically, from bondage, not unlike the escape of the Israelites. Her story, though, unfortunately, is not unique to her. In the same way that every generation reads the HaGadol, there are always points to glean that resonate with each audience throughout history. Each generation needs the Exodus story too. Today, it feels just as essential. But the Exodus story is not just about one person. It is collective and communal. And I do wonder if her re-recording decision is selfless or selfish. How does Taylor Swift define her legacy? Is it just that? Individualistic? I like to hope it involves a broader preservation of artists' rights, that she may lead other creatives to escape those power struggles, to not get left behind. Or is it about her own financial and commercial gain? The ability to neatly curate her catalog, to slot her legacy as one of the greats, following the paths forged by artists like Joni Mitchell. And in a time where we are now, where we see the continued commodification of celebrity, a dire political situation, questions around our modern-day idols, alongside a sweeping need for a craft that reflects the difficulties and hopes of the human experience, where do we find the activist art that we so desperately need? As Brian Hyatt and Rob Sheffield, music critics for Rolling Stone, shared in their review of Taylor's album Lover, if you are asking today, where are the protest songs? You're just not listening. Taylor Swift does have her protest songs, like Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, which interrogates American identity and patriotism post-2016 election. Songs like Tolerate It and Mad Woman typify a feminist awakening. You Need to Calm Down uplifts LGBTQ+ rights. And Epiphany explores the plight of healthcare workers in the pandemic. And still, I want more. Taylor takes up an incredible amount of figurative space, which often means many other trailblazing artists can't access the same kind of latitude. Their protest songs don't always get the same sort of recognition, the same cheers or awards. See, I struggle sometimes with the systems and contexts that have shaped Taylor into the success that she is. Some call her a feminist icon, which I believe her to be, but then others have called her a capitalist icon too. Not only have her re-recording processes been their own lucrative economic force, but she is always releasing multiple album versions, merchandise, not to mention the exorbitant prices of the concert tickets. On the day Roe v. Wade was repealed back in 2022, she released keychains. While they were anti-patriarchy keychains, something about this consumptive release fell in poor taste for me. Beyond her album release today, of which there are also at least 4 versions, my biggest hope for her in 2024 is that she will make a statement for the election, because I believe she has the power to sway it. I think we can praise her innovation and also hold its limitations. As Dana Fahadi, a professor at the University of Melbourne, notes, Taylor's feminism is neoliberal feminism, a mainstream form of feminism that purports that capitalist agenda. She finds that neoliberal feminism creates an illusion of liberation when it's just really another form of oppression. Instead of working to fight social hierarchies, neoliberal feminism focuses on empowering socially advantageous women like Swift to rise to the top in place of or at equal with the man's position. But who gets left at the bottom? Still often marginalized folks like those who are working class or BIPOC or queer or trans. Taylor is at the top of the hierarchy, but she already started pretty darn high. What would it look like to break the system? What would it look like for Taylor to lead the charge alongside others? And that brings us back to the ideas of liberation. I never want to undermine the experience I had or that I witnessed others had at her concert. Many have described their experiences at the Eras Tour as a safe space, a celebratory space, a liberated space, a promised land. In fact, my friend next to me looked around as the sky was fading and asserted, "This is our Woodstock." Maybe not exactly true, but looking out at the concert goers, I did see the freedom that they felt. But while watching fans belt the songs, I couldn't help but think about Beyoncé's Renaissance Tour, an equally impressive event that would come to Soldier Field a few weeks later. Would her fans, who represent a broader diversity of humanity, be able to safely and comfortably sing along outside their idol, unpoliced and unharmed? Would they get to access freedom too? So where does that bring us here tonight? Is Taylor Swift's lexicon a lexicon of liberation? Just like the dialectic of the Passover story, there are dualities for Taylor Swift and her unfolding story. At the end of the day, I believe her art and others' art pushes us forward. I think it saves lives and consoles us with the redemption possible in our everyday, ordinary life. Some may find that in Taylor Swift, others may find it in other great songwriters and poets of our time. With her album released today, I hope that she may continue to push the envelope, not just to reach new musical or literary heights, but social and political frontiers as well. Maybe she might continue to use her profound artistry and platform to decry entrenched systems of power. In the meantime, what her concert and her lifetime discography showed to me, in the backdrop of my adolescence and adulthood, is that, as Taffy Brodesser-Akner, New York Times writer, notes, personhood is made up of micro-chapters of change. The 17 years of eras Taylor sang through at her concert gave credence to the stages of her life thus far, that some of us have shared in, even celebrating the parts that weren't always revered. Her album, Red, released in 2012, was viewed sometimes as an unwelcome musical pivot. Today, it is embraced as one of her defining best albums for its transitionary nature, perhaps freeing her to tackle new musical genres and heights. Catalog curation and the benefits of retrospection allow us to uphold this music in the same way we too can revere the parts that were hidden, that maybe now are holy. In many ways, her audacious re-recording process has opened up a translucency into her musicianship, permitting new light to shine on her old discography, freeing her from some of the controversy and scrutiny of her personal life as a young woman that often overshadowed her songwriting. To me, that is perhaps the ultimate liberation, reclaiming what may have been shamed and treating it with compassion and celebration. Taylor's success and story in the context of Passover invite me to ask myself and all of us 2 questions as we approach Exodus. What will you dare to do, dare to dream, now that you are free? And what will you do, about who gets left behind. Taylor Swift, like other artists, asks us to dwell, to linger, to float above the chapters of our story, to memorialize who we were and who we are as we live life in the same vessel, in the same thorny, beautiful, terrifying, auspicious world. To be free to sing, dance, write, protest, and celebrate are some of the greatest creative freedoms and gifts. Whether by Taylor or by someone else, may we all be so lucky to have our experiences mirrored and reflected, but also stretched, as we burst open and become our fullest selves this Passover with our first taste of freedom. Shabbat Shalom.
We got our talking points. Want to bring up
Please will,
Yolanda.
Yolanda, lead us in the prayer for the end of hiding. You will find it on your little purple sheet, pink sheet, tailored color sheet.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And oh my God, Hannah, thank you so much. That was amazing. I'm now going to become a Swiftie. As LGBTQ Jews, we are aware of the loss of integrity we suffer due to pressures of the larger society. We often feel forced into a dishonest presentation of ourselves, to ourselves and others. The LGBTQ individuals who feel they must pretend to be something that they are not, the Jews who feel they must be alienated from their tradition and community to win larger acceptance, are all victims of a theft of identity and integrity committed by the sexual, gender-identifying, or religious majority. Creator of the universe, we ask that our hiding draw to an end, that we no longer feel we have to pretend, to promise falsely, to renounce ourselves, and that our fullest creative expression as Jews and as lesbian, gay, transgender, bisexual, and queer people be among the blessings you bestow upon us. Amen.
Amen. Yasher koach. We'll rise together on page 121 for Aleinu, rise in body or spirit. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gedula liyotzer breshit, shenatan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu, v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim HaGadol Baruch Hu. Page 125. Kakatu b'toratecha, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'en, v'ne'emar b'haya Adonai le'melech al kol ha'aretz, bayom ha'hu, bayom ha'hu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo, u'shemo, u'shemo echad. We'll ask Mark to come up. Maybe seated.
Although I tried to get Hannah to be a fan of my musical heroes, Bruce Springsteen and Bob Marley, it looks like Taylor Swift can join them on Mount Rushmore of musical legends. This is the prayer for the children of Gaza. It's by Bradley Burston and adapted. Holy Blessed One, who is the creator of all children, hear our prayer. God, whom we call blessed, turn your face to these, the children of Gaza, that they may know your blessings and your shelter, that they may know light and warmth where there is now only blackness and smoke, and a cold which cuts and clenches the skin. Almighty, who makes exceptions, which we call miracles, make an exception for the children of Gaza. Spare them, heal them, let them stand in safety. Deliver them from hunger and horror and fury and grief. Deliver them from us and from their own. Allah, whose name we call Elohim, who gives life, send these children your angels. We call to you, God, whose name is peace. Bless these children and keep them from harm. Turn your face toward them. Show them, as if for the first time, light and kindness and overwhelming graciousness. Look up at them, Holy Blessed One. Let them see your face. And, as if for the first time, grant them peace.
Amen. Ken Yeratzon, may it be soon and sooner still. If there are folks in here who are observing a yahrzeit, who are in a period of shloshim, who are in a period of mourning, please, if it is comfortable for you, please rise and share names. Also, folks who are online, you can unmute yourself and share the names of folks who are in mourning. Anyone online? I see a hand up. Can you unmute Bill and Rhina, Vivi?
Mary Elizabeth Witherspoon, my mom.
Yeah, should do it. Oh, go ahead. Can you unmute again, please, Vivi?
Ruth
Can you say it again, please?
Ravina, my mom.
Thank you. Okay. And also Nancy.
Thank you. My stepmom, Sandra Schwartz, and Harriet Gold. Thank you very much.
Page 131 in your Sidurim. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divra chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach leolam ul'amei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shmei dekudisha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen. May their names be for a blessing. Amen. Be seated. I'd like to invite Val up to give us some announcements.
This is on? Yeah. My name is Val Singer, and I am a member of the board, and this is my first time doing the announcements. Yay! Okay, so, and ironically, the first thank you is to the staff substitute of the night, Val Singer. And thank you to tonight's Zoom host, Vivi Tai. Did I say that right? Thank you, Vivi. And to our facility staff on duty, Brian. And thank you to tonight's police officer on duty, Officer Humphrey. This is her first time working with us, so say hello as you leave. Thank you to our service leaders, Rebecca Goldsmith, Terry Egdahl, and Hannah Podhauser. That was amazing. That was, Hannah, that was great. So it's hard to believe, but Passover is only days away, in case you missed that through like all the mentions of it. We will be holding our traditional CBH second night Seder for those who have pre-registered on Tuesday, April 23rd. Next Friday, we will be hosting a family-friendly Passover Shabbat Sababa, and all are welcome. Plan to join us for an Earth Day Shabbat hike tomorrow at 10 a.m. at Mason Meal Park. Please see Rebecca if you want to come. Come to Imbibe the Bible with Rabbi Mike and friends on April 28th in Northlake, and if you're not familiar, you need to sign up online for that. Join daughter of a Holocaust survivor, Roberta, I'm sorry, I want to like ethnicize it, I don't know why. Roberta Lynn Weschler and Rabbi Mike for a Yom HaShoah observance on Sunday, May 5th at 6 p.m. Rabbi Mike will provide space for individual memorials of our loved ones. And then another event, are you frustrated, scared, and pissed off by the onslaught of voter suppression, anti-LGBTQ, anti-choice, anti-immigrant policies? Then use your superpowers to win elections. This is a very good idea. We have experts to tell us how. Wednesday, May 8th, Despair versus Hope, you choose. Register on the CBH website and check out the poster in the lobby. Yet another event, 2 more. Get your dance on with international acclaimed dance instructor Steve Weintraub as he leads a session of joyous traditional communal dancing, all to the live accompaniment of the CBH band, woohoo, on Thursday, May 9th at 7 p.m. Beginners to Jewish dance or klezmer music are most welcome. Steps will be taught, and it will be fun. Okay, now here's a question for you all. I know you know the song. Why does CBH embellish the Vishamru prayer with a loud, joyous woo? On Friday night, May 10th, we'll tell you the little-known and long-forgotten story. It's a CBH exclusive. Who put the whoo in the Vishamru? You know, if you want a spoiler, you can go look at the poster. So the poster's in the lobby. All right, thank you so much, and have a wonderful Passover, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thanks, Val. Let's close our Shabbat with Oseh Shalom, a prayer for peace in the heavens and the earth. May it be true for all of us. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, and come on up, let's join, we'll get close together. I think Val is grabbing Kiddush. Maybe someone can, Brian, would you mind running out there and grabbing our wine and our motzi? I want to encourage all of you to stay online if you're still here with us. Does anyone here want to do our Kiddush tonight? Anyone? Okay. Page 121. Here it comes. No, people are online and they're waiting to do it here, so we'll just do it here. Yeah. Val, if you want to bring me that, I'll get started on our blessing. No, it's not 121. I'm sorry. It's 116 for those of you who are looking. Thank you. I'd like to read this while things are being handed out. This is a kavanah. The commandment to bless this wine is a commandment to drink life as deeply as we drink from this cup. It is a commandment to bless life and to love deeply, to remember the Shabbat heart, to act with Shabbat hands, to see the world with Shabbat eyes, to laugh until we are all laughter, to sing until we are all song, to dance until we are all dance, to love until we are all love. This is the wine that the God, the divine, has commanded us to bless and drink. Savri Chavarai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim ki eleinu karata ve'otanu kidashta le'avodatecha ve'shabbat kodshecha ve'ava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Baruch Shemo Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. And I'm going to ask Terry if you'll do the honors of the motzi. Yasher koach and such a beautiful leading. Everyone touch someone who's touching Terry. You want to touch the bread? Yeah, go there. Oh, yeah, there you go. Amazing.
Do we sing it? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. Gotta eat it.
Oh, gotta eat it.
Eat what you bless.
Oh, gosh, seriously.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Enjoy the oneg outside. Grab some challah. Say hello to each other. Thank you so much for being online. Shabbat shalom. Hannah, thank you. Yasher koach.
Oh.